Hey everyone, please support what I do to help keep Greyhawk alive by subscribing to the channel. Also, please consider becoming a channel member to get early access to videos, exclusive live chats, quarterly adventure modules, and more. Thanks, and enjoy the show. So my previous video on the top 5 Greyhawk novels was really well received, so I thought I'd take another stab along those lines and talk about one in specific, so that's what we're going to do today on Greyhawk Grognard. So today I'm going to talk about The Temple of Elemental Evil by Thomas Reid, which was published in 2001 by Wizards of the Coast. And on the whole, just a warning, there will be spoilers for this 22-year-old novel, so just be aware. On the whole, I thought it was okay. It's not one of the best Greyhawk novels ever written, but it's also certainly not the worst. There's always, the infamous others. But this is, it's not bad. It follows the plot line of the original Temple of Elemental Evil module pretty closely. A band of adventurers comes to Hamlet on a mission to investigate what's going on with the temple. Hamlet is attacked by brigands, and then the PCs, the characters, the adventurers, go to the moat house, defeat Lareth and all that. Lareth escapes to the temple, and this is where things start to take kind of a turn. Lareth is then maimed by the high priest Hedrick, so he's no longer Lareth the Beautiful. Now he's got this big scars and stuff, and that kind of breaks his mind. But we don't really see, it's weird. Lareth is at the same time underutilized, and when he is utilized, it seems off. That's one thing. They really play up the Lolth connection with Lareth, almost to a fault. And, to the point where once he's finally killed, he comes back as some abstract spider monster thing. We don't really know how or why, but it just kind of happens. They do include the frogs on the moat house, which is nice. But basically, and there's a lot of good interplay between the different factions in the temple, which more and more as I go on about Temple of Elemental Evil, that to me is much more important and much more satisfying than I originally thought was back in 1985 and since then. It's like I say, it's an okay book. It's it's not. There's no real standout characters like you would see in the Justicar and Escala books. But on the whole, it doesn't. It's also not painful to read like some of the other books. Like Against the Giants was just. That was a rough one. But on the whole, it's really well done for what it is. It ends with Zuchtmoy still being imprisoned in the interdicted prison. The temple itself is razed to the ground. Prince Thrommel is freed and returns to marry the princess of Valuna, so that we have the union of Valuna and Fioriondi that's been talked about forever. And then that actually leads to a question here. And the question is, in these novels, is what happens here the official account of how that adventure ends? And that's an interesting question that I can't really answer, because if we're talking about Forgotten Realms novels or Dragonlance novels, then yes, obviously those novels are a record of what happens in the official campaign as it's published, and those events impact later published works. That's not the case. That doesn't seem to be the case here, especially in this novel and in other Greyhawk novels. Because they're written so far after the module itself is published, they seem to go off on tangents that contradict what has already been written about the events that are shown. So, for example, when Thrommel is freed from the temple, he goes and there's talk of almost a civil war in Furiondi because of his return, and there's these factions and things, and we don't get any glimmer of that in the other works that cover that political situation in Furiondi. So there's nothing about it in I Use the Evil, or in Greyhawk Wars, or in Marklands. The events that are recounted here don't seem to happen in the other published works. And I think that makes these Greyhawk novels somewhat unique because, like I say, if you're talking about a Forgotten Realms novel, or especially a Dragonlance novel, those things are official. They happen, and other works printed for the setting reference what happens in there. That doesn't happen with these, and I think that's that is unique among gaming things. These are almost like little alternate universes, which is really cool. Of course, it means that you as a DM, you could read this and say, "Oh, that's great. I want that to happen in my Greyhawk." But what I'm talking about is the official published Greyhawk. So, anyway, basically, I would give this 3 stars out of 5. It's solid. It's not great. It's not awful. It's good. So anyway, have you read it? Let me know what you thought of this book in the comments. And also, what do you think about the fact that what's in here and in some of the other novels doesn't seem to have an impact on what else is published regarding this, regarding the temple and broader things in the broader events in the setting. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, and hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I shall talk to you later. Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Below you'll find links to my Patreon, which helps make these videos possible. You'll also find the web store where you can buy my books, and my blog where you'll find all sorts of free downloads and other articles. Thanks, and have a great day.